we have seen types of risk based on their monetary value and changes in the economy, now let's look at risks based on their risk types based on their outcomes. And based on their outcomes, risk can be classified as pure risk and speculative risk. Pure risk is when the outcome of taking that risk is a loss or no loss. For example, if I have one car and when I get to work, or simply if I'm driving, my car might crash due to accident, or I might continue my journey peacefully. If no accident happens, we call it no loss. If the car gets an accident or crash, we say it's loss. This is a pure risk. However, a speculative risk is when there is a chance that I might have a gain or a chance I might lose from taking that risk. For example, gambling. If I gamble, I might get too much money or I might lose too much money. Unlike the loss and no loss principle we have talked earlier. So let me start by talking about this pure risk. Pure risks are mostly uninsurable. They are insurable and can be classified as personal risk, property risk, and liability risk. Personal risk is loss that can happen on one person. For example, death, unemployment, etc. etc. The other one is property risk. A loss that can happen on that person's property rather than on the person itself. For example, if my car crashes and I got a huge scar on my body, that's a personal risk. But if my car crashes and if the tires or spokio or any other glass on the car breaks, that is a property risk or a loss on my property or my car. This includes direct loss and indirect losses. Direct loss is losing the value of that property only. For example, if I had a car accident and the car automatically and totally crashes, I do not have that property after now. That is direct loss. I lost my car. However, indirect losses are, for example, if I am a driver and so assume if my livelihood job is only driving and if I do not have additional work, after losing that car, I will also lose a future economic benefits. In other words, I lost my job. That is the indirect impact that happened because of my property has been impacted by this risk. The other one is a liability risk. This risk is a risk of not fulfilling the responsibility that is expected from us. For example, if we sell an expired medicine, that is a liability risk because the other one is risk arising from others' failure. This happens when not us, but when the other person doesn't fulfill his own obligation that relate to our own case or that impacts us. For example, if you have an agreement with a contractor, but the contractor doesn't fulfill his obligation and finish it with the intended or agreed time, that is the risk arising from others' failure. This can be mostly a pure risk. This four. So the other one is speculative risk. It is, as we have said, gain or loss. This is mostly uninsurable. Because why it is not uninsurable? Because this risk is more intentional. You can choose not to play even the gambling, and mostly insurance works in that way. They help the one who get lost without intentionally bringing it. So based on subjectivity, the other one is based on subjectivity after looking the outcome. When we classify a risk based on subjectivity, we can say that it's subjective risk or objective risk. This is how we think about, based on how we think about the risk, based on psychological uncertainty. Or this is what we believe there is a risk, even if objectively, even if it's not. Objective risk is